So today we're going to talk about solving systems by substitution. So this idea of substitution is plugging in. So your first step here is to solve one equation for x or y, which means you're going to isolate a variable. Then, whichever one you solve for, you're going to substitute that value into the other equation for that variable. So for example, if you solve for x, in your second equation, you're going to substitute whatever you got for x into that equation. Then you will solve for the remaining variable and then substitute your answer into either original equation to find the other variable. So those steps are a little vague. Let's show an example. So y equals negative 7x minus 1 and y equals x minus 9. So the first step is to solve one equation for x or y. Well, both of these are actually solved for y because y is by itself. So first step is already done for us. Now you're going to substitute one of these equations into the other one for y. So for example, we can take x minus 9 here and we can plug it in to the other equation for y. So we get x minus 9 is equal to negative 7x minus 1. Then we solve for this variable. So we can solve for x. Okay, by doing some cancellation here. So we get 8x is equal to 8. Divide by 8. X is equal to 1. So this is your first solution. But now we need to find y. So we can substitute x into either one of the original equations. I'm going to do the second one just because it looks a little easier. So y equals 1 minus 9, which is negative 8. So that is your y value. And your solution is a coordinate point. So x is 1, y is negative 8. So this is your final answer. This second one here, we have y equals negative 5x plus 30, and 7x plus 3y is equal to 42. So again, first step is to solve for either x or y. Since y is already solved for us, y is already by itself, I am going to substitute negative 5x plus 30 in for y in the second equation. So now I have 7x plus 3 times negative 5x plus 30 is equal to 42. So now we work steps to solve for x. So first thing we need to do is distribute the 3. So 7x minus 15x plus 90 is equal to 42. Well, 7x minus 15x, that's negative 8x plus 90 is equal to 42. Subtract 90 from both sides. You get negative 8x is equal to negative 48. Divide by negative 8. And you get x is equal to positive 6. So there's your first value. Now we need to find y. So I can plug x into either one of the original equations to solve for y. I'm going to plug it into the first one because it looks a little easier. So I have negative 5 times 6 plus 30. So y is going to equal negative 30 plus 30. So y equals 0. So your coordinate point, or your solution, is 6, 0. In this example, sometimes it's not always apparent which variable we need to solve for. So we have 6x minus 5y is equal to negative 28, and 7x plus y is equal to 22. So I don't have a variable isolated just yet. But if you look at the second equation, y has a coefficient of 1. So that looks like the easiest to get by itself. So if I subtract 7x from both sides, I will get y is equal to negative 7x plus 22. And I have now isolated y. So now I can take this value here, the negative 7x plus 22, and plug it in for y in the other equation. Minus. Okay, so now we just solve for y, or sorry, solve for x. So I'm going to distribute the negative 5. So 6x plus 35x minus 110 is equal to negative 28. 6x plus 35x, that's 41x, minus 110 is equal to negative 28. Add 110 to both sides. So negative 28 plus 110 is 82. You can divide by 41 on both sides, and x is equal to 2. So now that I have x, I can plug it back into one of the originals and solve for y. So I am going to probably do the second one. So 7 times 2 plus y is equal to 22. So that's 14 plus y is equal to 22. Subtract 14 from both sides. Y is equal to 8. So your coordinate point, or your solution, is 2, 8. Last example. 2y is equal to 6x plus 10, and 3x minus y is equal to 5. So we need to isolate a variable. It doesn't really matter which one you choose. In the first equation, it looks like y is going to be pretty easy to isolate because all we would have to do is just divide by 2. So over here, I would get y is equal to 3x plus 5. I can take this value and I can substitute it in for y there. So I get 3x minus 3x plus 5 is equal to 5. We distribute the negative. 3x minus 5 is equal to 5. The 3x minus 3x, those cancel, that equals 0. And you have negative 5 is equal to 5. Well, that is not a true statement. Negative 5 does not equal 5. Therefore, we have no solution. Okay, so remember that if it's a false statement, it's no solution. If it was a true statement, you would have an infinite number of solutions. Okay, so that's how you do solving systems by substitution.